The UFC is one of my favorite things. Like, it's probably my favorite thing in the world, bro. Like MMA, bro. Like watching UFC on the weekend, man. I feel like a lot of people are with me on the same boat. This is kind of like what my weekend is kind of built around, outside of like hanging out with my girlfriend and stuff like that. Like that's about like those are the two things I'm actually interested in doing most weeks. You know what I mean? Everything else is kind of like in between me watching fighting or like training or like doing actual shit. But fighting is like a huge staple. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Today, as you can see in the title, as you can see in the thumbnail, I'm here to tell you how I would run the UFC because there's a lot of things that we love about the UFC, but there's also a lot of things that I feel like most fans would want to change or like little tweaks that I feel like if someone else was in charge that was like very clearly, this is what we need to do with the UFC. This is what needs to change. I feel like it could be better. I feel like it was at its peak a while ago and it's kind of declined a little bit. Now, let me say one thing before I go into this. I'm going to do two sections. I'm going to do like a matchmaking type thing and then I'm going to do my promotion side. I'm going to start with the matchmaking. Honestly, the matchmaking's been pretty good lately. I'm going to start off with this fight card, Marlon Vera versus Cory Sandhagen, Tyler Santos versus Aaron Blanchfield. That's a perfect main event and co-main event, okay? I'm going to get into this, alright? My matchmaking, alright? I want, at the lower level, this is one thing that the UFC really struggles with. The matchmaking at the lower level and guys that are coming off losses and stuff like that and, you know, building up their fighters. You know, sometimes they throw them into bad matchups and stuff like that. Here's what I think we should do. I think we should try and build up certain styles and like fighters that fit certain styles and try and cancel out each other's styles to make like intriguing matchups. You know what I mean? Most of the time, like most undercard kind of fights, dude, you see them and you're like, oh, this guy's a wrestler. He's gonna beat this guy. No one gives a shit. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy's just gonna lay on this guy for 15 minutes and win. You know what I mean? No one cares, bro. If you've got guys like that, that's all good. That's okay. Let's put them against each other. Let's cancel it out. You know what I mean? Let's get wrestlers fighting wrestlers. Let's get, you know what I mean? Let's get like we get amazing matchups like Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Dude, striker versus striker. Let's get some KO artist versus KO artist. You know what I mean? Let's get like BJJ guys versus BJJ guys. You know what I mean? I want to cancel out these styles and see who rises to the top. Then we can do like the freak show kind of fights, like BJJ guy versus KO artist. Who's gonna win? You know what I mean? I reckon save that stuff for like higher level. Let's build some intrigue in these matchups. Let's get some like cancellation here, so that we get one that rises to the top. Let's get KO artist versus KO artist, and then build him up. Then he fights another guy that's good at KOs. Then he can fight a diverse striker. Then we go up to the BJJ guys. Then we go to the wrestlers. You know what I mean? Let's cancel out these boring matchups that we know what's gonna happen early on. Let's save him for later. Let's go. I don't know. He's on a win streak. He might be able to do it. You know what I mean? Let's build up some intrigue. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? Moving on in the rankings, okay? When it comes to matchmaking ranked fighters, I think you have to defend or you advance in the rankings always. I want to keep these divisions moving, okay? I'm going to say mandatory, you have to defend your title once a year, okay? If you're in the rankings, if you're a champion, you have to defend that spot once a year. If you're surging, okay, you're going to move up the rankings, you know what I mean? You're going to fight up, you know what I mean? Cory Sandhagen, Marlon Vera, that's good matchmaking right there, you know what I mean? Marlon Vera's kind of surging, so he's going to fight a guy who's coming off a loss at the top of the division. Cory Sandhagen, he just won. He defended his spot against Song Yadong. Now he gets a bit of a bigger fight, but he's still defending his ranking, in my opinion. Or I think Marlon's ranked above him, but still. Now they get to fight each other, okay? Marlon Vera's fought higher ranked guys. He's fought lower ranked guys. He didn't jump straight up the rankings. Cory Sandhagen went up to the top of the rankings, earned his spot, lost, defended it against Song Yadong. Now he gets to fight Marlon Vera. I think that's how it should work in the rankings. I think you have to keep these divisions moving. You have to make the fights that make the most sense ranking-wise. And I'm really, really going to try and keep these divisions going to where if you don't want to fight, if you're in the rankings trying to pick and choose going, I'll fight him, I can win, I can keep a win streak against him, I won't fight him, he's not a good matchup for me, he only has 3 wins in a row, I want to fight someone above me. Fuck off. You're going down the rankings. You're going to get moved down for inactivity. I truly think that's what we should do, man. I would honestly make it like the ranking should be based on ranked wins, your win streak, your dominance performance in that order of importance, okay? So if you're getting KOs and then you beat number 15, then okay, you can jump up, you can fight number 8, you can fight number 10, okay? But if you're at the top and you're not fighting anybody and the last ranked guy you beat was ages ago, well then I'm sorry, I'm not prioritizing you, Colby Covington. You know what I mean? I'm not prioritizing you, you know what I mean? Jorge Masvidal. Sorry. You take what you get. Okay, you take whoever I give you because you're not fighting and you're not beating anyone that's in the rankings right now. So that's my thoughts on that stuff in terms of matchmaking. Last one, okay? Oh, sorry, I already said it. Mandatory title defense. So I think once a year you have to defend your title. If you're injured, interim title, then you bring it in, okay? Then you do an interim, or you just vacate the belt like Yuri Prohaska, okay? But I think we need to get these champions fucking fighting, okay? Like, I'm sick of the fighters that are sitting out. They complain about fighter pay, but they never fight. That's easy solution. I don't know. Fight more than once a year, Francis Ngannou. Maybe that will help you. You know what I mean? That's just, yeah. So that's my thoughts on the matchmaking style of it. Let's build up certain styles. Let's try and cancel out styles and get some intriguing matchups so we can build some guys up to the top, and then we get those mismatches, right? Or those clashing of styles at the top. Save those for main events and stuff like that and high-profile fights. Okay? You have to defend or advance in the rankings. The matchmaking has to be quick. We have to get fucking rankings moving. Okay? And for champions, I want to book them at least once a year minimum. If they don't want to fight once a year, get me an interim title, you're done, or you're vacating the belt. I'm sorry, I want these divisions moving fast. That's when the UFC is exciting, man. And I think you should give these young guys opportunities if these guys don't want to fight. So that's my thought on the matchmaking side. Now we're talking on the promotion side. And the reason I have this card up right here, Cory Sandhagen versus Marlon Vera, this is awesome matchmaking. This is an awesome main event and co-main event. Here's my thesis for every fight night card, okay? If I'm building a fight night card in my UFC, main event has to be a title elimination or minimum top 6. So number 6 can fight number 8 or number 9, but you have to have at least number 6 in there. I think it should be like 1 versus 5 or 2 versus 4 or 2 versus 3. That's what every fight night main event should be, in my opinion. There was a time that's what it was. So if we can't fill these spots, if we need to make fucking Derek Lewis versus... It doesn't even want to load. It's such a terror. It just knows. It's like, don't look at me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to make a fight night card where Devin Clark is a co-main event, I don't want that card, bro. And why is this in the Apex? Fuck that. Okay? Every main event of a fight night needs to have a title elimination, or winner goes onto a title elimination level stakes in it. I'm sorry, okay? No more of this shit. Okay? And co-main events. UFC thinks we don't know what Dude, you need to be ranked to be in a co-main event of my fight nights. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, dude. Fuck that. Okay? No more co-main events of people debuting. Okay? Co-main events should be top 10. Okay? And again, if you can't do that every week, here's a crazy idea. You want to hear something crazy? Oh, I can't. Dude, UFC can't do that every weekend. Guess what? Skip a week. Maybe don't stack every pay-per-view like it's the last pay-per-view you're going to do. Crazy idea, I know. Maybe save some good fights for pay-per-views and then save one ranked fight for every fight night. Crazy that, I know. Let's do co-main events, top 10 or top 15. I'll take top 15, I don't care. Okay? And then the opener of the card, I think, should be, like, at least number 15 versus unranked. At least. Like, come on, man. People are paying ESPN Plus for this shit, man. And again, if you can't do that every week, then let's not have events every week. Let's have events every 2 weeks. Or, you know... Let's save these fights from the pay-per-views. Let's put really high-profile title fights on pay-per-views. Okay, good co-main events, good undercards. Okay, and save some of these prelim fights that you're wasting on early prelims for these fight nights. Boom. Done. It's over. It ends for you. Okay? So I think for the title elimination minimum, you know, top 5, top 6 in every fight night main event. Okay? Women's fight, okay? Now, I don't mind this fight. This makes perfect sense as a co-main event. This is a good spotlight for these two. I'm excited about this matchmaking. Erin Blanchfield looked really good. All right, give her a good test, you know what I mean? Tyler Santos isn't really going to get a rematch. Why not, okay? I don't really have a problem with this matchmaking. This is a good co-main event, in my opinion. Women title elimination bouts. No more main events. I'm sorry, okay? I do not care, bro. No, if I'm the UFC... and I'm trying to make the most amount of money possible, why am I going to put Holly Holm or Raquel Pennington in a main event of a fight night when the goal is to get people to watch it? You know, like, I'm seriously asking you. Why would I put them in the main event it's just like, why would I not just save these fights as 3-rounders on pay-per-views? Put them on pay-per-views. That's still a big spotlight for them. That's still a big payday for them. It's higher paced. There's not that extra 2 rounds of them wasting fucking time that there always is. You know what I mean? When has there been a women's main event besides Zhang Weili versus Joanna? Or like a Weili Rose Namajunas fight, or Weili versus Joanna versus Rose, you know what I mean? Besides those 3, who is out here having these exciting fights, bruh? Nobody. Just save them as 3-rounders, bro. We don't care. That's my thoughts, okay? So if I'm running the UFC, title elimination, top 5, top 6 in main events of fight nights, okay? Women title elimination bouts or women like ranked fights belong on pay-per-views or co-main event of fight nights if you need it, okay? It's just like I'm just they're not headlining anymore. It's just not worth it. We're trying to bring eyes. We're trying to get excitement. Put them on these good cards and give them that showcase there. That's where they belong, in my opinion. Until you get real star power or you get real finishing power, and you get these high level girls coming up that can really finish each other and want to do damage and don't want to spar. I'm sorry, you don't deserve to main event. We're trying to make money. That's the goal, okay? Last one. I've said this a few times. Actually, I've got two more. Sorry, I'm really into this promotion side, okay? Press conferences, okay? We don't have enough of them. We do not have enough press conferences. Dude, do you remember this press conference, the 25th anniversary one? Where they bring every main event up on stage. So they got Gaethje and Vic up here, right? They got Homer and Flanders up here, you know what I mean? And they had Woodley versus Till. They had every pay-per-view for the first, for the end of the year, right? Coming up. They get all the stare downs. This is a badass stare down, by the way. But dude, why don't we do this? I think UFC should do press conferences for every quarter of UFC programming. So for this first quarter, right, we could have had a press conference for 283, 284. I understand 285 wasn't there, but you have fights booked already. Maybe put Brunson, Duplessis on the press conference. 286, put Leon up there. Put someone else up there from the UK that's going to be on the card. Put them on the press conference. You know what I mean? To promote that show. Okay, and then on that card, on that stream, you could have announced Leon versus Usman 3, the trilogy. It's happening. You know what I mean? You could have announced UFC 287. We're going to do Henry Cejudo versus Aljamain Sterling. That just got booked. You know what I mean? Have some of these fight nights on there as well. Really boost these guys because this fight card, right? This press conference, right? This is where they announced the McGregor versus Khabib card. So all these guys on this card. By the way, Israel Adesanya I think this was his first press conference versus Derek Brunson was on this one, right? Promoting UFC 230. Yeah, it was. Look. If it'll load. Fuck you, Australian internet. Yeah, bro. This was for UFC 230 before they had a main event. This was Adesanya's first press conference. This got him into the mainstream. And what did they announce on this card where they debuted this guy? Conor versus Khabib. Everybody gets the shine, bro. I think we need more of these press conferences. Let's do them for every quarter, you know what I mean? Let's do one for the quarter one. Let's do one for quarter two. You know what I mean? Announce big fights on these. Get these lower card guys, get them some spotlight. Get them on a press conference. Get them talking shit, you know what I mean? Let's push some of these guys. Let's push Ian Gary. Let's push Adrian Yanez. Let's push Raul Rosas Jr. Let's push Hamza. Let's put him on a press conference. You know what I mean? Get these guys on press conferences. Let's do one for every pay-per-view. Let's do one for high-profile fight nights. You know what I mean? If you've got fucking Colby Covington versus Woodley, that was a perfect chance to do it because they had Chimaev on that card. If you remember, they had Cerrone on that card. That should have been a full press conference. I think they did a press conference, but they didn't get to be with each other. They should have done a full press conference for that. You know what I mean? They should do that for big fight nights. If it's like an ABC or it's a high profile, I think they should do a fight night press conferences. You know what I mean? So let's get more promotion. Let's really put some steam behind these guys that we want to push. This is a perfect this boosted Adesanya. And then on the card, everyone knew that Brunson was talking that shit. This hyped up that fight on a pay-per-view. This sold that pay-per-view before it even had a main event. So that's my opinion. Last one on the promotion side, okay? I've said it before. We need a face-to-face. We need like gloves off type thing, okay? And I'm just going to pull up one of my favorite gloves are off interviews. Anthony Joshua, Dylan White, okay? Great press conference. Great gloves are off. We need this, okay? Here's my pitch. Face off with Daniel Cormier for pay-per-views, okay? So we'll get, next one. We could have Islam and Volk there. Maybe we could do Dominic Cruz between them so it's not Michael Bisping between them, you know what I mean? I've got Daniel Cormier for American pay-per-views. Dominic Cruz could be in between them for fight nights. I wouldn't put him between Marlon Vera and Cory, though that'd be a bit awkward. But I put DC there. And then Michael Bisping for international. So for UFC 284, let's get Islam and fucking Volk sitting there talking. It might be a bit awkward, right? But eventually you're going to get good pay-per-views. You're going to get Aljo and Henry sitting there. That'd be good. That'd be entertaining. You know what I mean? You're going to get Leon and Usman. That would be fucking intense. That'd be awesome, dude. You know what I mean? You can get some really good stuff out of this. I mean, look at this shit, man. Imagine if we got one of these for Conor and Khabib.
Than any opponent you boxed.
Kevin Johnson was talking about way low more than him. I don't care if he can fight or whatnot.
Dude, we could have got. Sorry, I'm just gonna skip ahead to the good part when they start arguing. He's dressed like a Greek, by the way. But dude, imagine we got one of these for Conor and Khabib, bro. Imagine how hype. Imagine how many views that shit would have. Imagine we get one of these for like Marlon versus Cory. I feel like Marlon would make it really intense. You know what I mean? Colby Chimaev, you know, Leon and Usman again. That would be intense as fuck, man. You know what I mean? I know Leon's always gonna be like, you know, Adrian. You know what I mean? It'd be awkward, but still. There has to be some intensity. When you put these two in a room, there's no choice but to kind of confront the fact that you're about to fight each other. You know what I mean? Obviously, you would get some nice ones. And you get some funny ones as well. You get Wonder Boy and Holland. That would have been awesome. I think they did a face-off with those two. But imagine like an actual setup like this. You know, put your own spin on it. Put the UF, put it in the apex. Put it in the middle of that octagon. I just remember that Masvidal versus Till one, man. You know, stuff like that. Even the Chito versus Dominic Cruz one. You know, good day to die. There's cool shit to be had with stuff like this. I really think we're missing out on some promotion. Even the DC John Jones 2-1. That is legendary, man. When DC's like, I'm prepared to die to beat you, and John Jones goes, be prepared to do that. You know what I mean? We need that shit, bro.
Stronger.
I'm not Kevin Johnson.
As you can
Kevin Johnson was sucking up to you.
I need this, bro.
And you was playing all pally.
Kevin Johnson talk more than him. It's all irrelevant. Talk is cheap.
Bro, like, can you think of the matchups that we could put in here, bro? I know Islam Volk is bad. Imagine Colby Chimaev, dude. Imagine we got one of these for Colby and Jorge, bro. You know, imagine like fucking Poirier Conor 3 in here. Like, dude, we are missing out on fucking building up some rivalry. Pereira Adesanya, I need them face to face, bro. I need Adesanya to be like trying to talk shit to him and stuff, and Pereira's just staring at him, just staring into his soul like he's interrogating him. And again, Daniel Cormier in between them instigating, you know. We could have got Michael Chandler Poirier like this instead of on fucking DC and RC. But the UFC blew it, dude. Okay? So that's my changes I would make to the UFC. That's how I would run the promotion, okay? So again, we need the face-to-face. We need big press conferences, man. We need title elimination fight nights, bro. Enough of fucking Grasso versus Araujo, bro. Enough of fucking Lemos versus Andrade, bro. I'm sick of that shit, dude. Okay? And mandatory title defenses. Ngannou, maybe fight more than once a year and you would have got fucking paid more. Crazy, that? I know. Let me know what you think down below, boys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Comment down below your thoughts on the UFC, man, and what you think of my ideas. And drop a like, boys, if you enjoyed it. Subscribe as well. We're blowing up at the moment. It's been awesome to see. Thank you for the support, boys. Go follow me on Instagram at Bedtime MMA. I'll see you in the next video, boys. Goodbye.